Magic Mira. As you can see, today it's going to be about Shinobi, and I don't know a whole lot about the original first Shinobi that came out in 1987, but I know a whole lot about Shinobi 3 here. That's the one that we are going to talk mostly about because that's the game that I have the most personal experience with, and the game that I played on Sega Genesis with my brother. Actually, this was more my brother's game. He was really good at this. I was not that good at this, and this was really hard. One of the harder games for the Sega Genesis, as far as I remember. We couldn't get to like completing the boss that looks like brains or blood or whatever. I will maybe show a picture of him here, but like that gave me a lot of like nightmares and stuff like that, those levels, because like I remember there were brains in tubes and stuff like that that you have to kill, and that was like really something gross, and even for that time. But yeah, there's also like other things that I do remember from it, like the shinobi himself, like being able to jump on walls, or like making these special attacks, and like if you gain a lot of power, you could like hold your sword over your head and gain almost the power, or ultimate power like He-Man, and like lightning will come down and strike your enemies and stuff like that. So that was pretty neat. There's also like other kinds of throwing stars. So throwing stars that did certain weird things, and there was also like the enemies in the game. Of course, I've been talking a little bit about the boss battles, but there's like a lot of bosses here. Even some mini bosses that was really hard and difficult to figure out what to do. But when you get the hang over the like combinations and their what they're doing, you could go there yourself, and like that was pretty neat. Yeah, I do remember us trying to look in our game magazines and trying to figure out how to come further in this game, because, like, as I said, it was really hard. It was something where you were like, oh my god. But yeah, that was really something. I also remember something from the game that actually still are a little bit stuck in my head, is like the sound from the riding level. I think like that was my favorite level of all of them, like riding on the horse and having that sound following you. That was just great. There's also a stage later on where you go on a surfboard, but I do really like the horse level a lot. So yeah, but there's also like levels that was insanely hard, not just the bosses and not just the enemies, but also some of the levels. For example, this elevator level, I will show a picture of it right here. That's insane, and that was like really hard if you didn't know how to jump and when to jump and what to jump on. So yeah, that was a little bit over the top. Yeah, I think so. And you also have a certain amount of lives and power, as I said. Like you could gain ninja power, and then you can strike with your sword, or you could do like awesome moves. I'll maybe show a move here, but yeah, I do remember a lot about these games, and some of the items that the evil ones had, or your enemies had, was also really annoying, like the bombs that went off. There were more in the boxes around in the area, but like sometimes, there were yeah humans or somebody like throwing dynamite at you, or like throwing what's that, a hand grenade at you and stuff like that. So that was also pretty insane to like try to complete all of this. I have never seen the last boss of this game, but I'll show a picture of it here. I didn't know like it was this metal dragon, but that looks amazing. And maybe I later on I will boot up my emulator and see if I could actually come further than the pipe level that we were in, me and my brother. I do remember like coming to a level where you were on some sort of pipes and have to jump around, but I don't know if my brother actually ever completed the game or we just like stopped with it because it was so hard. But I do remember having spending a lot of time with this, and playing as the shinobi or as a ninja was always something that my brother wanted to try. So like, and I'm also a little like, maybe I will try the original Shinobi, because like the only one that I know about is the Shinobi 3 here. So yeah, I I will admit like there's some great backgrounds and there's some like great scores in this, or music in this. So yeah, I really do enjoy. If you enjoy like old Sega Genesis games or old computer games, because like I think like this came out also for other game consoles, but yeah, I do have it for like my emulator, so I could definitely play this later on, and I think actually I will give it a try, even though I know like that's going to be really hard. So yeah, but that's actually all that I have to say about like the hardness levels of this game. I will show some gameplay of somebody here that is a lot better at the game than I am. So yeah, I will admit like I'm really surprised like you could complete a game like this in under 1 hour. I saw some speed runs and stuff like that. Actually, talking about speed runs, I have must admit like speed runs is some of the things that I really like to see on YouTube, and especially this game and other Sega Genesis game, or other games in general, is like really fun to watch, especially like Sonic and stuff like that. But Shinobi is like one of the things that I do remember having a lot of hard times with, but also like a good time where you were like looking at the scenery, or you were looking at the enemies, and you were just like, oh, okay, that was actually pretty interesting. This is something that are right up my alley, or how to say that. I do believe like there were a lot of inventiveness, or had a lot of fantasy when they're making all of these enemies, because like as I said, like there's live brains, there's humans with guns. Now that's not that insane, but like there's this monster boss as I talked about earlier. There's like a lot of mini bosses, and like there's of course like samurai and ninja that also try to kill you. There's laser beams, there's all sorts of things, and of course the dreaded spikes and falling to your death. So yeah, that's always one, right? But yeah, I do remember like having a lot of trouble with like steering, or not steering, but like the general of the game. But I do really believe my brother also had a really good time with this game, and I do remember we lended the game out and we never got it back again. I wonder why. But yeah, I do really wanted to actually try to complete this. So maybe I will put up gameplay later on with me playing the Shinobi 3, but don't get your hopes up, because like I'm really not sure that's going to be a good idea. I have gameplay throughs of other games, so yeah, I will maybe do this just for free time, and that's actually all that I have for saying for Shinobi 3. I hope that you enjoyed this episode of the Magic Mirror. If there's anything that you know about Shinobi, old Sega Genesis games, put it in the comments down below. On Monday I will take Aladdin, because like it's gotten all of this yeah attention lately, so I think like I will do that, because like I also remember the Aladdin game and had fun with that. But yeah, that was actually all. Do remember that inspiration is right around the corner. Do remember to take care of yourself and loved ones. And that's actually all. Yeah, okay, bye.